heart with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a back body. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's up, people? That's a banging tune. I don't know what you think.
It is a slapper. Nah, it is a slapper. It is a slapper. Well, what's going on,
it. Listen, sorry for being late. I just got back from the gym. They were playing 90s hits, hip-hop classics. So I'm in the mood. Yeah.
What, two can't see me? What, hit them up? Well, what are we talking Eazy-E? Real ass G's. What old school is old school?
No, I think more the 90s stuff. You know, there was some NWA, Ice Cube. Yeah.
Today was a good
man. It was it was none of the mellow stuff. You can't work out to mellow stuff, as you know. And you know, I need to get these guns on point because, as I told you.
Ron came in. Ron said, I need the tightest shit available. Whatever is screaming.
Listen, this has been painted on. But yeah, when I interviewed Alicia, she weren't having none of it. She just told me, like, get out of my face, you know.
I'm never jealous of anybody, Ra. The only thing I'm ever jealous about with you is that there. So yeah.
What's that? That I interviewed Alicia.
Alicia Baumgardner, yeah.
Yeah, but she told me to get out of her face, you know? So there's nothing wrong with my personality. We can agree with that. So it must be the body. That's it. So I've got to get the body on point. Anyway.
Right, you're not having a good time with women in boxing in the establishment. Like, seriously. Ross out here spitting on ring girls. But we're going to move on.
Exactly. We need to stay in our lane. Yeah, Fab, just got back from abroad where we last spoke. Can't say I missed this cold, rainy weather, but hey, we're here. The original plan was this weekend I would have been in Japan for Inoue v. Fulton. Inoue went and got himself injured, so all my summer holidays are messed up now. Thanks a lot, Noia. But anyway, there's another massive fight this weekend. Our boys Trey and Chris already discussed it. I got a totally different take on this. We've had the coronation of our new king, one of them, Saturday night, early hours Sunday. We're going to get a new king of England, John Ryder.
To be honest with you, bro, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Like, I really, we'll touch on it for a little bit, you know, because there's always the banter aspect that needs to come through. Because you know what? I rate Charles, bro. I rate Charles highly. He was able to get his main side chick into main office, bro. No. This is not talked about enough, Ra. It's not talked about enough. He got his main side chick into office, bro. So big up my doggy, Charles. And he evicted that nonce. So I am not watching it. I have not got it on my television because a certain person is there and is interacting with people, so I refuse to do that. But I fully respect Charles, man. Charles, Camilla, you two, man, like the realest, bro. Respect.
Rico, you've gone soft living here. You telling me that some king in Africa that he would have to jump through so many hoops to get his second? Nah, if he was some king in Africa, he'd be like, yeah, look. Here's wife number 1, 2, 3.
That's what makes it so exceptional. That's what makes it so fucking exceptional, bro. These man said, you know what? Like F Harry and the light skin youths, bro. We're bringing Camilla in here. We're bringing side chicks in here. We don't care about the rest of the people. Them. This is how we're moving. Get with it. I don't agree, and I don't agree with a lot of things, bro. However, with certain man's, you know, you have to just you just have to respect it. At the end of the day, he was in love with his side chick, bro. He done it for all of the people watching this live right now, for all of you with side chicks that you love, that you don't want to just leave your missus for. Charles has done it for you, man. So let's bask in his glory and let's respect it. And yeah, let's enjoy a great weekend of boxing, Ra. I know that you I've told you to mediate today, like you always do, to be honest. You know I'm lazy on that shit. So I want to know what you think of today's boxing events. Yeah, kick it off, bro.
Yeah. Listen, everyone, you know me. I'm always biased in favour of local boys. I'm a North London boy. Ryder's just a few miles down the road in Islington, so I'm going to be.
Wait. Are we starting with Ryder? Are we starting with Ryder?
Yeah. Who else do you want to? Well, you want to go in chronological order? Do we start with Buatsi?
Yeah, let's start. Well, let's start with the less of the sauce. Okay.
All right. Let's go there then.
No, we're going through the meal today. Okay, so we're gonna go through the starter, maybe a little bit of sideness, and then the meal, and then the dessert.
All right.
Okay?
Rico, a man with table manners. I'll bear that in mind for Bournemouth when we go out for dinner. Yeah,
We're gonna vlog it, but wait, I'm gonna say after today's show, I'm gonna say exactly the whole plan for everything. So everybody, please tune in right now. But Ra, take it away, brother.
All right, so Birmingham, Joshua Buatsi's boxer debut. I think he's got some serious work to do to get the hardcore fans back on board the Buatsi hype train. People were talking about him as being the next big thing. Medalist at the Olympics, ability is unquestioned, but his career is just stop-start. And for me, the thing that's really questionable, you get yourself into the position of number one ranked in the world and you get a world title shot and you turn it down. I dug out Ryan Garcia when he done it. I've been digging out Munguia for doing it. I like Joshua Buatsi, so I haven't dug him out as harshly, but it is because I like him. But that's wrong.
Right. Playing Buatsi advocate, he didn't know what the caveats were. Wait, caveats? Caveats. He didn't know what the drawbacks were. To him, there wasn't a lot of people watching him, Ra. Okay. There was no established channel where normal viewers who the demographic or ilk of people watching EastEnders and Hollyoaks during the week, that demographic, there was no one there for him, even though they probably wouldn't have Sky packages anyway. But playing Buatsi advocate, there was no true place that you could really view him on DAZN. And then DAZN came on Sky. They now have two channels, Ra. Okay, I am a yearly DAZN subscriber. Okay, I feel like I'm getting great value for money. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, but Buatsi's reasoning, and I'm when I say I'm playing Buatsi advocate, right? I am Buatsi right now. I'm saying to you, bro, no. Okay, right? There was no place where I felt people could really view me. Bearing in mind that his fights were being shown in over 150 countries at the time, but no one could view me domestically. Okay. What do you say to that, Ra? What's your opinion? Because I really want to know what I don't think I've actually asked you about DAZN now being on I would say domestic.
Yeah.
On domestic at the minute right now. And they have two channels now, Ra.
Again, when you're a serious boxer, what's your objectives? That's what these guys we want to know. What's their objectives? Now they all give lip service. It's to be the best.
Big up Tony Ellis. Big up Tony Ellis. You are the realest, bro. When we really blow up and there's bare people, then bro, you're gonna come on some real on a panel thing, bro. So yeah, big up Tony Ellis, man, every time. But yeah, carry on, Ra. Sorry.
And Saka. Big up to him. He missed us, he says.
I miss you too, Saka. I'm not even an Arsenal fan, bro, but I really fuck with you, man. Oh, sorry, my bad. I really mess with you. Like you're a real one, Bayaka, bro. Shout out, man.
Indeed. No, I'm not impressed with that when fighters are talking about exposure and what have you. As you said, how many casual observers are going to tune in just because it's on Sky? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced on it. If fighters come out openly, like say a Derek Chisora, he says, yeah, look, I'm just in it for the money. I want the money. I want the biggest fights for the biggest amount of money. Yeah, cool. You know what? And even then, Derek's still got a world title shot because of that. But Joshua Buatsi, who's still in his prime, got to the level, i.e. ranked number 1, and had a world title shot on the table. Apparently he didn't want it because there's not enough exposure. He didn't want to be tied into a contract for much longer. All of that, all well and good, but what's he going to get over at Boxer? Domestic opponents, which might be bigger fights in terms of the crowds eventually, but only if he gets that world title shot. Now, if after tonight he is cemented as the mandatory, well, all right, then Bivol has to take the fight and he doesn't have to be tied into, you know, a rematch clause and all of that. I get all that, but that's all ifs, buts, and maybes. In this game, you are speculating on the unknown as opposed to what was definite. I don't think that's a good idea, especially not at his age. You know, I dug out Ryan Garcia for doing it, but at least he was 21 when he did it. You can say, well, you got your whole career ahead to map out exactly how you want. Joshua is 31, which I think is the prime for a light heavyweight, but it means you got to get your hardest fights in now, not get more miles on the clock and then go in with them. And when's the Bivol fight going to be called? You know, as a mandatory, that can be some time. So is he going to waste another year? Is it going to be 2024? So yeah, he's got some serious convincing to do. He now has to blitz Stepien and look good doing it because he made such a big deal about he needs to be, you know, on a platform where everyone can see him. And yeah, that's how I see it. I think he will do it. I think Stepien, just looking at the level he's fought at, I haven't watched him any of his fights. I think he will blitz him. But then it's still, I still think the Bivol fight is some way away. And I've made this point on Twitter that for me, the only outcome for Buatsi that will redeem these decisions of his is he has to either beat Bivol or the winner of Beterbiev and Smith. So he's got to beat one of those two for me to be able to say, okay, you did make the right decision after all. I mean, there can't be none of this, you know, Beterbiev vacates some of the belts and he picks one up and with some, you know, second-rate guy. You know, that's not going to cut it.
Well, okay, Ra. Do you want me to give you, all right, let me give you the whole landscape and everybody watching right now, or 10, 15, whatever.
Go for it. You're the man of the moment, incidentally. Just as an aside, anyone who hasn't seen your interview with Dimitri Salita, you are rocking the boxing world. So go over and watch that on iBoxing Hub. But yeah, you're the man who can set the scene. Go on. Tell us, how's the savannah looking?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, Rob, man. You being a real OG up into this game, rude boy. I really appreciate the love and everything and support and knowledge that you've given me and stuff. So I really want to say thank you very much, Rob. But basically, going on from your point, right? The reason why Buatsi signed over to Boxer is money. He, you know, and there's three dynamics to this. Okay, and I really want people to actually listen because it involves sort of tribalism, it involves sort of fanboyism, and it involves also the just average boxing fan. Okay, so Buatsi and every other fighter, right? The name of the game is prize fighting, right? People say, oh, you know, you're in it for the legacy or this or whatever like that. But I'm going to be real with all of you, bro. If I'm getting beat up, bro, for 12 rounds, for 3 minutes each round, right, with somebody who is a savage out there, I want to get paid. I don't hold it against fighters if they say that they are in it for the money. I respect you because I know you are saying that because you are saying that, you know what, I've not fucking had it good in, sorry, fam. I've not had it good in life. Okay. I've not had the P's and I've not had the advantages and I've not had like this. You know, I was on my space last night. I was Javante, we were speaking about Javante Davis. And people were kind of coming at me because they're, oh, you hate Javante and da, da, da. I don't hate this guy, bro. I understand him. I understand him a lot more than other people do. You know, the guy, him and his brother, their parents actually left them on the side of the road like that. Okay.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. He literally, I get his mentality and I understand why he is the way that he is and the way he fights. There's a picture, and I want you guys to go and try and Google it if you can find it or whatever, or watch the fight where Tank is looking in Ryan's eyes. They actually have eye contact, right? And Tank has applied the knee card. He's played the knee card. I mean, Ryan has played the knee card. Okay, he's applied the knee. And Tank and him look at each other. They cross eyes there, bro. Right? And you could see, I felt for Ryan, and I didn't feel for him, and I'm going to tell you why. He looked at a real alpha male savage, Ryan did, and knew he could have got up. He quit, like he could have got up. That man could have got up, and he could have went out on his shield and and all this, but whatever, right? He could have got up, but he didn't because he saw what was in Tank's eyes. He saw loneliness. He saw somebody that's really come from the gutter and is ready to actually give his life for what he believes in. This is why I do rate Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't respect him as a human being for a lot of his life choices, but it's hard not to respect a man that's willing to give his life in the ring the way that he does. Right. So, going back to my earlier point with Buatsi, he wants to get the most commercially. He wants to get the most for fighting who he's fighting. Okay. Like we can't, it doesn't make logical sense if I'm Buatsi and Eddie Hearn is offering me a million pounds or whatever, or just over £1 million or what have you, for a 2-fight deal extension, right? Kavitz, whatever you want to say, for just 2 fights, which is probably a rematch, right? Or a building fight and then Bivol. You're telling me you're not going for $1 million, and it's either that boxer is paying him $2 million to fight in Birmingham, right? Where every single and I get what Ben is doing. I understand what Ben Shalom is doing. Ben is trying to expand his business and his market and his reach. It's not Sky. It's not Sky. Sky is everywhere, right? But it's Boxer, because at the end of the day, if you look at the card, it's Buatsi and every single other fighter in the undercard, including Before the Bell or whatever, is a local Birmingham fighter or has a local Birmingham fighter as the favorite. So that's smart business from Ben. I get it, and it also kind of it builds Buatsi in territories that aren't obviously he's not known for, which is building a fan base essentially, because every what we need to kind of identify as what I was kind of going on earlier is that there's 3 different types of fans. There's the hardcore, you get the hardcore fans / journos like Ara and myself. Then you get obviously the hardcore fans, and then you get the casual fans, right? So with that, the casual fan, like the most important thing is to actually get the casual fans for any type of promotion. Okay. I was speaking to Cynthia yesterday. I really want you guys to go watch my interview, because of the fact that guy, I respect him because he is one of those promoters. I would put him in the subdivision of Ludabella. Right. I like him way more than Ludabella. I think Ludabella is a dickhead. Sorry, Akram. But it's I would put him in that world division ilk. But the thing is with Salita, he wants to actually have UK shows come here. Like here, he doesn't want to go on a co-promotion thing because he's not big enough. He wants to actually expand and everything, which is brilliant. You know, some things in the pipeline. But anyway, regardless of that, I respect Buatsi for wanting to get the check. What I don't respect about fighters like that is that if you just want peas and you just want money, just say that. Just say that. Don't say you want legacy. Don't say you want titles. Don't say you want to be lineal or whatever it is, because that's just bollocks. Okay. Right. Tell me if I'm lying. Because the logical choice would have been the Bivol fight. That's a world title shot there. For a million.
It's exactly as you said. That's why I'm now holding Buatsi.
And bearing in mind, I was team Buatsi. This is what angers me so. Him, Okoli, like they're like rebellious children. Honestly, no, Ra, no. Do you know what it is? Because like I'm not gonna lie to people and be like, oh yeah, I've been watching boxing since the 90s and this and this. Like, no, bro. In literally the late 2000s, that's when I really started getting into boxing. You know, and I got into boxing heavily when I saw Anthony Joshua starting to murk people off. You'd go into the fights like Floyd and Pacquiao and this and this, but like as a casual fan, when I was watching that wasn't appealing to me. But now I look at that fight and I think Floyd is a genius. That's some of the greatest counterpunching I've ever seen in my life. But I dissect things now and I look at things differently. But we need the casual audience to keep this sport alive, right? And it's dying at the minute with all the bullshit that's going on. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's like you said, it is prize fighting. If he's been offered more money, cool. I do agree with what Bukaya and our boy Saka saying, that is there a possibility he doesn't really believe he can beat the likes of Bivol, Smith, Beterbiev, and he's maybe waiting them out. If that's the case, again, just like I've dug out Munguia and
you should have let me invest in you like this, you bastard. Okay, you should have just literally. You should have been with Frank, and Yard should have been with Eddie, because we did that swap. Oh my god. Yard would be a world champion right now. I guarantee it. That man has Jamaican cojones. Okay, that man has balls as hard as adamantium, Ra. He went to Russia, Ra. Do you know what it is? Because I want to take back everything I said about Anthony Yard. I take back everything in terms of skill and how they've been brought through the ranks. I would definitely say Buatsi. But in terms of where it matters, Anthony Yard has all of it and more. Ra. Salt Bae.
Yeah, no
I'd
doubt.
pay 10K for that steak. Right.
Anthony's done.
For that Anthony Yard steak, I'd pay for that.
Gold encrusted. Yeah. Well, let's see. Like I said, if he does anything like what Okoli did on his debut, then yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens then. Will the WBA
no one's that bad. No one is that bad.
No, all right. Look, I'm talking relative, but because obviously Buatsi has never looked that bad, whereas Okoli has. But anything less than a devastating, sensational win, it will make you wonder. And will the WBA then name him mandatory? Because I think that was the gambit that, well, I can go over to Sky and Boxer, become mandatory and get my shot anyway, and not be tied up to DAZN and
Well, to be honest,
shenanigans there.
If we're looking at it linguistically, so Zordo was first mandatory. Richards and Buatsi fought for second mandatory. So Joshua Buatsi is mandatory for the WBA super title.
It's not been called yet. Hey, listen.
It's not our fault that they have shit business. Okay?
Are you really putting trust in the WBA here?
Look, Ra, I'm not talking about trust here, okay? We're not talking about trust, and we're not talking about trust. What I know from the matches, look, okay, like how you used to watch in WWE and all of this thing or whatever like that. Zurdo was mandatory, all right? Craig Richards and Joshua Buatsi defended that WBA Intercontinental title until whatever. They both fought for a mandatory position, second mandatory position, right? Go look at who is ranked number one in the I'm going to pull this shit up right now. Not playing games.
Box Live, yeah. It is Buatsi. He's ranked number one. No doubt he's ranked number one.
He is mandatory for Bivol, but they offered him the P's, and he said no. He said, "I'm going to fight Stepien at Boxer because the only way, rather, I can see this making any type of justifiable sense on a fan and him perspective is if Ben said, here's 2 mil, fight Stepien. I'm doing that. I'm fighting Stepien for 2 mil. And I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm going to tell people, bro, like Kavit's nothing. I fought this bro for 2 mil, and I'm going to fight for the world title after I beat his ass. Straight up. And I want the purse bids between Matchroom and Boxer. A nice 3 million there, right?
That's the gambit. Tell me, how do you think tonight goes with Joshua Buatsi? Routine win for him?
I think that it will go a lot like the Bolotniks fight. If anybody hasn't watched that fight, go watch it. Bolotniks. A lot of people don't rate Bolotniks, man, but I like that guy, bruv. He goes in there, leaves it all in the ring, and he comes to fight, and he doesn't just come to get a journeyman paycheck. So I really rate Bolotniks, man. So I think Bolotniks will. Not Bolotniks. I think it'll go a lot like that. I think Buatsi might stop him in the 11th. We all need to remember that he has been out for a year to the date. So what I want, because I think our good brother CB, if you guys haven't checked, please go watch the boxing roundup with my broski Trey and CB. That is incredible stuff. I think CB said that he wanted another fight for Buatsi. No, we don't want any other fights. This and go for the world title. Or somebody worth some shit. Right? Because Yard is going to be fighting what's his name? Callum Johnson. No, not Callum Johnson. I never rated him at all, even a little bit. Look, yeah, Yard is going to be fighting him. So, at the end of the day, next, you need a big fight, Josh, right, to keep people interested. So, I would invoke that mandatory because obviously Bivol and Canelo are going to fight next. So, Josh is going to fight now. Unless he invokes the mandatory or whatever, just get a big fight or something. Get a finish and a big fight. That's what we want. Simple. Done.
Yeah, RZ, I think he's helped you out there. This is Joe Smith Jr. you were referring to.
Joe Smith. Yeah, big up RZ, man. Big up. Yes, Joe.
Big up Joe RZ. Smith. And Hazzy, welcome back.
But yeah.
All right. Okay, so we presume he's going to get rid of some ring rust tonight. How does Buatsi do against Bivol? Based on what we've seen of them so far, let's not go by what Bivol might do in a rematch with Canelo or whatever. What we've seen of him so far, how does Buatsi do against Bivol?
I think Bivol absolutely UDs him.
Classic Bivol then. Comfortable all the way.
Comfortable. I don't. This is my thing. Buatsi and fighters like him are at their best when they are consistent and where their tools are sharpened every 6 months, 4 months. Boom. After Bolotniks, I wanted him to fight that guy. What is it, Vlasov?
Mm-hmm.
Beat Vlasov, he would have been ready. He would have been ready to beat Bivol. I guarantee you. Everybody else, I will put that on my life. He would have been better, ready for it, but he didn't. So now you're fighting Stepien, which is a good fight. I think he's quite highly ranked somewhere. I don't know. I think I've seen him a couple of times. It's a good fight, but it's just you can't keep on like rebuilding, like right, like right, like at the end of the day, fighters, you don't have a long lifespan like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like after 30, it's a blessing, is it not? I would say so.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
really, after that age, unless you've started, depending on case by case, but after that age, if you've been, look at I say a Canelo, but Canelo's not. It's hard to use Canelo as an example because he's 1 in a million. But you see a fighter like Buatsi. I was watching Buatsi at the Olympics. Came through the Olympic, like literally from his very first. That's why it hurts on a personal level with Buatsi when I see him do these type of things, because I've followed him from his pros to his whole. From amateur and the Olympics to his pro career. So when I see these decisions like this, it doesn't make sense, because you've always said to me that you want to be a world champion. I don't know, Ra. Like, obviously, we're not fighters. But if I'm a fighter and someone says to me, yo, there's $1 million there, bro, there's a world title, take that. Why it disappoints me, because I see Anthony Yard that probably got less for fighting in Russia. He was a black man in Russia, right? He gave Kovalev the business. He came up short because he just didn't have that experience. But how am I supposed to see this and see him after all? Just it doesn't make sense, bro. So, bro, stop him soon. Do something after. I don't care.
Bukayo's asking a good question here. How do we rank these British light heavyweights? Because it's interesting. If you look at all of the 4 governing bodies' top 10 rankings, it's full of these Brits. So yes, Bivol and Beterbiev are an almighty obstacle, but just amongst these guys, you could have a tournament alone just to establish who's the best in the country. How do you rate them guys?
All right, so we've got a very talented and very, very, very humble and very, very lovely, very young, lovely young guy in Adam Azim.
Light heavyweights. What Bukayo
heavyweights,
asking about. Yeah.
Oh, rank these British light heavyweights. Yard, Buatsi, Linden. Sorry, bro, my bad. Linden, Dan, Aziz, Callum. All right, so for me, I would probably say Callum Smith number 1. I would say Anthony Yard number 2. I would say Buatsi number 3. I would give Lyndon Arthur 4, and then Dan Aziz, and then that's how.
Interesting.
Callum Smith is the best heavyweight in the country. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody mesmerize you. That guy is the best at 175 right now. Okay, so.
And he's got his fight with Beterbiev locked in, courtesy to Top Rank winning the bid again. So that's going to go to Canada.
15K.
So let's
Can we give an honorable shout out, Ra? No, Ra. Can we give an honorable shout out to Bob Arum, Uncle Bob, slaying from the 1950s, bro? Okay, big up, Uncle Bobbatry out here, top rank. You deserve that. You deserve that, guys. 15K.
15K, yeah. He's got a mate. He's got a mate in the WBC's.
No, let all the moles tell him. Nah, infiltrate. Nah, bro. Big up Uncle Bob, man. The realist.
All right. Well, that's a situation with light heavies. As you said, that's the appetizer, the main steak. We're talking, braai, main course, 100-gram tomahawk. That's over in Guadalajara in the early hours. So, one division down for now, back to super middleweight. John Ryder, the man's, if anyone's earned that payday, it's him.
Gorilla
fights opponent after opponent who's hard, hasn't hung around hoping to get it. Nah, he's earned it. But now in Guadalajara, Canelo, the pound for pound king for the past few years. What's he up against? Me, I'm going against the grain. I always do when it comes to Canelo. How do you see it? We know you want John to win. How do you see the fight going?
Yeah, bro, to be honest with you, it's a head-heart situation, right? As always when we have the show. Look, I think Canelo will probably stop him in the 11th. But if John takes it, it'll definitely be on points with outworking Canelo just like he did Callum Smith. If he can produce a performance like how he did against the Callum Smith, endurance, 100%, just straight through there, then yes. If he produces a performance like Jacobs, then they'll probably have him they'll have him very down on the cards, bro. So, John, you need to win every single round by at least 2 minutes 30 seconds for everyone. No, I'm just being I'm just being real, bro. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves, bro. He needs to win 2 minutes 30 of every single round for 12 rounds. Or, okay, I'll be generous. For 10 rounds. 2 minutes 30 to 40 seconds of 10 rounds, right? If he wants to take it on points. He's not knocking out Canelo. Right? He's not. So we're not going to say that. That's your only way of victory. I really rate Tony Sims. I love everything that Tony Sims does. I love his gym. I love the way his tactics, everything. If anybody can do it, I really hope that he does. And yeah, I see Canelo stopping him in the 11th on a pretty much 90% thing. And I see if John does it, then he would take the majority from maybe I'd say about 9 rounds, 10 rounds. But yeah.
All right. Similar to what my colleague Dave Johal, big up Dave. In case you don't know, Dave is the guy that runs Punch Out Boxing with me, sends me off to all these exotic locations to report. We've done a more in-depth analysis on it, so go over to Punch Out Boxing and watch our video there. But
you see Punch Out Boxing, I watch Punch Out obviously for my brother there. I think we met for the first time at the Zhang fight, so much love, my bro, man. I think I always share your guys' stuff on the Zhang and everything, so and Punch Out. So follow everyone's stuff.
It's all love. All gives a different perspective. Yeah, listen, the more I hear about everyone bigging up Canelo, the more I want to pick against him, as you know. I don't see Canelo.
I hate Mexico. If you're Mexican,
I don't. I love Mexico. I love Mexico. But there's 2 things that I'm not forgiving Canelo for. One, failing a test, and then just having a 6-month break. Yeah. Nah, that was basically his punishment, the 6-month break, which he normally takes anyway. That was the first thing. But the real thing that I can't forgive him for was when he blatantly ducked Golovkin when the fight was initially mooted, and he waited a bit longer for Golovkin to age. I can't forgive him for that. Because again, just like these guys who get to a mandatory spot and then don't take the world title shot, if you're a champion and a fight's called and you drop the belt to duck, nah, you know, I don't forgive that.
He was unifying under super middleweight division for the first time in history. I'm sure that
Yeah, cool, but you know, I still remember.
Furthermore, actually, no, I'm not gonna let you die on this hill, because Triple G could have done the same fucking thing in his prime. In his prime, right? But Canelo had to do it. Canelo said, "You know what? Kazakhstan's just not doing it."
Wait a sec.
I need to go there and unify everything, and that's exactly what he did.
No.
I'm sick and tired of people blaming Canelo for ducking people when he's achieving greatness.
No, listen, don't get me wrong. The only guy I'm slating him for ducking was Golovkin when Golovkin was at the prime of his
he fought him twice.
He waited for him to get older. So anyway, hey, listen, that's the past. John Ryder, I'm rocking with him. Canelo has not shown concussive one-punch power, certainly not at super middleweight. Ryder has not shown any fragility at super middleweight. This is stylistically a very different fight for him.
He's been whooping everybody's ass, bro. He's been whooping everyone's ass.
Canelo,
Ryder,
Ryder
said, Zach Parker, come. I'll go to BT and smack. And
beat him away from us.
Fashion, he went to BT and he did that shit. So
exactly, imagine that. And then
the gorilla can do it in Guadalajara.
Yeah, I mean, I see him. I see him winning a fair share of rounds, but I don't think the judges will give it to him. And realistic, the most realistic outcome for me is Canelo quite wide on points, but it'll be generous. But sod it, I'm gonna say he can pull off the upset and maybe cut Canelo and get a stoppage that way, or get a narrow majority decision.
Do you know what? If he can give me he was winning before the knockout, I'm happy.
Serious? Is that where it's come to? Like,
yes,
we were doing well up to a point.
No. This is where it's come to. Give me 7 rounds, winning before the knockout. I'm good. Mm-hmm. At least then I can go on to Mexican boxing Twitter and be like, winning before the knockout. So
yeah. Well, Canelo's saying he'd retire if he loses to Ryder, which I think is a bit disrespectful. Why would a loss to Ryder mean you got to pack it in? I mean, Ryder's
because he wants to go play golf. He wants PGA Tour. Imagine buying PGA Tour on PS5 and seeing Canelo on there.
Rico, you've just given me more hope that he's going to do this. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Mentally, Canelo's lost the edge. He's got one foot on his golf tour career. He's taken him lightly. Yeah, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. He thinks this is just another British fighter who he's battered other guys like Billy Joe and Callum Smith, who, in fact, the 3 Brits that are mutual opponents, all 3 of them have beaten John Ryder.
Can we be honest?
Yeah.
Can we be honest and say that John Ryder beat Callum Smith's ass way better than Canelo did?
Yeah. I don't know about way better. Probably
only because in terms of way more exciting, and in terms of somebody that actually tried to fight back.
Because what you think Smith was so passive against Canelo?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. If you want to put it that way, yeah. You could say that.
Because when I saw Smith, I was, I almost haven't supported Smith after that Canelo fight, because I was just like, oh, vamos, nah, cabrones, Smith, Liverpoolian, whatever the thing I translated at the time, I was giving large, rah. Okay, I was giving Vin Diesel family vibes. That's how hard I was going through that. Okay, and then when Smith did that, I almost turned my back on Liverpool. I almost said, "Nah, do you know what? Nah, f this. Nah, f you, bro."
Wow, imagine this scenario. Smith beats Beterbiev and Canelo gets revenge on Bivol, a rematch at light heavyweight. Who'd have thought?
That's what I want. That's what I want. And then I want Smith to absolutely put him out, and I'm justified. And then I can go. I can show my face back at my old friend's house and stuff. That'd be good. That'd be nice.
All right. So you're plumping for Canelo, comprehensive stoppage late.
Yes.
And
yes.
I
Also, I would like to plug Talker's Tips. If anybody knows what Talker's Tips is, it's basically our family over there at No Smoke Boxing, with Dale heading it up there. Please go check it out. Talker's Tips for all of the I know gambling is haram, so for all of the Muslims, I'm not talking to you guys, but for all the other man out there, Talker's Tips. If you can't afford to get your girl those flowers, no chocolates, there's no milk in the yard, nothing. Your last pound, Talker's Tips, you'll be able to flip that. So yeah, go check that. Go check that shit out.
All right, Rico there giving those dusty guys the last way out, and on top of that, keeping us Muslims on the right path. No gambling for us.
Yeah, salam alaikum to all of my Muslim brethren there, man. I hope you all had, and I hope you had a great Eid Mubarak to you, my brother, man. I show love to all of my people, all of our, whoever you are, whatever your business, whatever, as long as you're not a nonce, and as long as you're not crazy or whatever, come through. We accept you, family, all day. Saka, I will be doing a watch along from 7 p.m. today on the channel for the main card of the Ryder fight. So it'll be myself. You will see, even because I don't think anyone's ever seen us two and CB and Trey together. So I think it will be me and CB and maybe somebody else. I'm going to try and get Nathaniel Collins, who's just been recently signed with Queensberry Promotions. My virgin, I'm trying to get him to come through there with that Scottish accent, bro. So he's
wow. Like I said, Rico, you're the man rocking this whole industry. You're getting Collins.
Bro, we gotta do some big things out here, bro. We can't. You know what I mean? We and what I want people to really, really recognize is that boxers are normal people. They're people like just you and me, bro. They have families. How I chat to some of these guys, bro. Like you wouldn't. They're just they are just normal people at the end of the day, bro. So I know people have hate for them or this or certain things or whatever like that, but just remember that they are all just normal people at the end of the day. And just please show support, please show love, especially for your local boxers. Please, for grassroots boxing does not have a lot of funding. I myself am actually going to try and do some things and free promotions and stuff like that for any boxing gyms or businesses or anything like that people have. So please go and check my Twitter if you're you're a new business, you're struggling, or a boxing gym or a trainer or anything like that, and you really want to you're serious about stuff and you want to promote stuff. I'm doing free promotions, and I will shout you out on our shows and on my Instagrams and everything. And for really truly newly starting businesses, from a premier interviews like how you have with the Dimitri Salita yesterday, I will promote you and I will shout you out there. So it's all free. Everything that I do in boxing right now is all free. It's all for the love of the sport and to give back to people out there. So So get at me, get in the mentions, the DMs and everything like that. People that you really feel that they need help, and because it's as a community, we're all trying to help each other and we're all trying to show love and everything like that, man. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about that and the love of the sport. So I'll hand it over to my co-host Ra. Right,
Big up.
sign us out, brother.
Nice one. Yeah, I'll reiterate what you said. For the love of the sport, never forget, most of the guys taking the punches in this sport, they're not only doing it for free, it's costing them money. Since I've got involved in this, I see what these guys go through, the cost of training expenses, medical expenses, etc., etc. 99.9% of guys in this game, the guys and girls, they're not Mayweather, they're not earning hundreds of millions. They're doing it for the love of it. So us being able to give them some publicity, it's a small thing we can do to help back. All right, let's wrap it up. Just to reiterate, 7 o'clock tonight, you and Chris are doing the watch along, maybe with Nathaniel Collins, giving us some of your great insight. I'm having a night off from doing reporting, but my colleague Dave, he is going to be ringside in Birmingham. So check out Punch Out Boxing tonight or tomorrow morning.
Some of the fights will be up. Check out my brother Dave. Big up Diavan in the place out here. Big up Disang. All of that there. Punch Out Boxing. Much love to everybody in the building, in the space, and please come and tune in and have a lovely weekend. God save the Queen. Oh no, King. My bad.
The King.
And all the side chicks. God save all the side chicks out here. Big up.
Indeed.
It's another bang. All the Muslim cars now, whichever hit up. Light up my scars with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag by the